I'm standing in the McCarty Courtyard, located at the University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida, in the central part of the peninsula. Traditionally, this land has been surrounded by swampy wetlands, with sandy, well-drained soils allowing for pine forests interspersed in between. Historically, this area used to be a pine forest, and a lot of upland hardwood species are left in areas that have not been urbanized or developed. And in fact, around these buildings, you can find longleaf pine and other pine trees left over from that time that have continued into modern day. In this area in particular, behind the three McCarty buildings, there are several interesting and aesthetic looking species that have been chosen specifically because of the urbanization of the area. And species have been chosen that make the area look more interesting, where students and other visitors to the campus are likely to see and enjoy. Here we have a queen palm, which is the most popular palm tree to plant in urban developments, probably due to its long pinnate fan leaves that hang down in a very aesthetic way. These are fast-growing palm trees and can reach to very tall heights relative to other palm trees, which is also another reason they're chosen to be planted alongside buildings to round off corners and other urban areas. It's one single solitary trunk, which allows lots of them to be planted in a row or in the same area. In fact, there can be seen 3 queen palm trees in this area here. There are 2 on the other side of the balcony of the crossway over there. There's one in the corner here that you can see. It's very tall. It's reaching up to the 2nd or 3rd story, as you can see. And there's a lot of these trees. They're very popular to plant in urban areas. And it's another palm tree that needs a well-drained sandy soil that can be found in this area. And there's a lot of plants like that around here. If we take a look here at the understory, this is a bush called Spanish dagger that also uses well-drained sandy soil to root in and save water for long periods of time. And as this is an urban area, a lot of interesting looking plants like the blue-green spiked dagger-like leaves from which the plant gets its name can be found around here. Over here on the ends, you can see a very interesting plant called Birds of Paradise. Let me walk up on that. And as you can see, it has these very interesting orange and purple flowers that seem to resemble origami hummingbirds. So that's very interesting, and that's yet another plant that does well in well-drained sandy soils. And so a common theme of the plants that have been chosen for this area are very interesting looking aesthetic plants that fit the soil of the area. Behind me here is a Bismarckia palm, which can be identified by the fan-like blue-green blade leaves that make it so interesting looking, making it another common choice to be planted in urban areas where the foot traffic will be able to enjoy its beauty. They're often planted along the grooves along highways because the leaves are so prominent they can be seen from afar. It make it another aesthetic choice for areas like that. If we look up here, you can see some Spanish moss that has started to grow in the leaves of the mid-story and upper canopy of these trees. It looks like the torn linen hanging from the branches of the tree, and despite its name Spanish moss, it is not actually moss. It is a flowering plant that grows on larger plants from which it receives its sustenance and sunlight. Most of the plants around here have been specifically chosen for their appearance to fit the atmosphere and vibe of the campus that we would like to give off here. Over there, behind this dead bush or tree right here, is a patch of Everglades palms, which are very vibrant and long growing and interesting to look at. And back here behind the Bismarckia palm, you will see a Senegal date palm, which can be identified by its multiple bases and long pinnate leaves. The bark is like thick, and they're like fibrous trunks where you can tell that this is a Senegal date palm. And all of these plants have been chosen because of their appearance and how they look on campus.